Hello again, and today we're talking about profile 3-5. I love all the profiles that have 3. I am the 6th line, so I lived some process of the 3rd line before I was 30 years, and human design confirms that that's exactly how it feels for the 6th line, to experience the process and the things that 3rd line goes through. So I think that's why I have a lot of friends who have a 3rd line in their profile, like 1-3. I even had few people who are 3-6, even that's quite rare. I love 6-3, and of course 3-5, quite special people, and I have a real special relationship with these people. So what is 3rd line about in profiles, in understanding? So Ra respected 3rd line so much, and he has always talked that 3rd line represents exactly the most human process, exactly the embodiment of the human process, because it is the process of experimenting, the process of trial and error to see what really works and what doesn't. By the way, 3rd line often can see what actually doesn't work, and like 3rd line, I think sometimes is quite surprised why nobody else sees it. Like when 3rd line works in a company or in some field and sees that the way things are done, and it's obvious that they don't work, they're not working, why others are not able to see it, why they don't do anything about it. So first thing I would like to take off from the shoulders of 3rd lines: don't worry if you don't know how fix it, how to make it work, how to how to explain others the way it's supposed to be. That's not your job. It's enough that you have already said that this doesn't work or this is not going to work, and you can even, like, if you can see, you can explain why. That's why 3rd line have the name of a martyr in human design, because I think what happened over the centuries when 3rd line was so honest and was so blunt, and saying that you don't need to pray for the rain to come, it simply doesn't work. You don't need to bring the money to the church, the rain will not come. So they were burned. Yeah, they were also burned because they were suffering for the truth that they saw, like running and telling the people that these things don't work. For a long time they really paid the price, and I think 3rd line also still pays the price when they're children, because when they get something, they want to see how it works. Like if they get a toy or something, they receive as a gift, yeah, they want to open it up, they want to see how it is designed inside. Very often they're accused of breaking things, of making mistakes, of doing the things in the wrong way, which is, if we look at making mistakes like really from the perspective of getting experience, of understanding how things do not work, or to understand the mechanics of the process, we would get the perspective with which 3rd line really looks at this life. So 3rd line is very material, very practical. That's why I also tell often 3rd lines, whenever they come to try their experiment, try it yourself, see what works, what doesn't for you. Don't be shy, don't be afraid that the theory makes you confused. Like, directly go into experiment and try and apply it in practice. Everything that 3rd line can apply in practice, they can understand immediately, they can grasp it. Too many words, maybe a bit too confusing. Perfect on material plane, very practical people. become very, very wise, and if they allow themselves to enter the process, which often doesn't start correctly, and simply explain to themselves. Every beginning is the opportunity to see what doesn't work and eventually figure out which way it's supposed to be, you know. So difficulties in the beginning, certain practical, you know, signs how things do not work, very normal for their third line to see. And I think that's why they are such good specialists in so many fields, because they actually check it in practice. What about the fifth line? So the fifth line, especially here, it's unconscious, it's on the body side. Fifth line is the field of projection. So everybody projects on the fifth line. This person can do this, or like if 3-5 walks into the room, and then you will ask everybody in the room, everybody will have a different idea of what they projected, like an opinion, what this person could do for them, or what this person is here for, or what they can do, and so on. This is a projection field. So a lot of things that actually fly into the third line, into their face. Let's talk about like 3-5. Yeah, a lot of things that fly into the face of 3-5. One thing I would like to tell you, don't follow all of it. Don't think it has to, like everything that actually happens in life around you, don't take it so personally. It can be projection field, or it can be just life, you know, just throwing things at you, that flying around you. Until, like, follow your strategy and authority. Like, if you respond, if it really, you feel that it resonates with you, then maybe, you know, you can really take it into consideration, you can start living it. Otherwise, there is so many things that are happening in the third line life. Maybe it's just life happening around, and maybe it's just another projection field around you if you are 3-5. Just observe it, watch it, and then don't act on it right away. Third line in terms of relationship. So everyone who knows people with a third line in their profile, and especially here, it's even consciously that you do. In relationship, third line needs to know that this is the process of a third line. Come very, very close, get really, really intimate, and then create a distance and pull apart. Again, come very close, very intimate, and again, the third line, create a distance. People who come in a relationship with third line think that maybe third line is separating, maybe they're getting out, maybe they are, you know, no. That's actually how they are in relationships, and that's how it's healthy. So third line makes the bond, then kind of cools off, almost like breaks the bond, and then comes back to create a new level of intimacy. So every time they connect back to you, they come back on the next level of intimacy. When people around third line start to panic and start to grab their attention and like pull the rope back, third line just doesn't understand, because it's not in a separation process, it's not breaking up with you, but it's just maybe intimate with some other things in their life, like they jump back to work, or they're very busy with something else, and absolutely they don't have the feeling that they are, you know, pulling away out of the relationship. Fifth line also gives us here the sense that when what people project on the 3-5, because 5 is also the general, the one who can save situations from a crisis. So people might also, especially if you played this role for them, like you saved them, or you fixed something, or you were simply mechanically happened somewhere in the moment for them where, you know, they really, really needed you, and then they will come back to you every time in the moment of crisis. If you don't understand why this is happening, this is because of the fifth line. Don't feel obliged to people because of their projections. 3-5, you're incredible, transpersonal on your body side, which means you will be drawn into places, into people. You can be connected, with your at a karmic level with so many more people. And then on the third line, you're still personal profile. You still consider this life from a very personal point of view. Very interesting lives, very interesting experiments, and I hope this video was useful for you. I particularly hope for every 3-5 who are experimenting at this moment, that you allow yourself to go through mistakes and trial and error process, and simply observe it as a human experience. This is what life is about. Try and see how it works, and if it doesn't, just carry on.